Hello dear students. Again, I'm just begin with a same chapter that is working with function. But this time the topic is types of arguments. First is positional arguments. Second is default arguments. Third is keyword arguments. And my dear students, the last one is variable length arguments. Dear students, when we talk about a positional arguments passed to a function in correct positional order. My dear students, here it is an example of simple interest where we having three parameters. One is P, second is T, and third one is R. Whereas when we call that particular function, that is SI, here it is in case of function call where SI within bracket 6100 comma 2 comma 0.15. In example, I have also mentioned that 6100 is automatically stored in a variable P, whereas the 2 is automatically stored in a variable T and 0.15 is stored in a variable R. So in this particular kind of argument, you must take care of the position of variable. If we change the position of variable, accordingly the value is supposed to be passed in a parameter. My dear students, next type of argument is default argument. A default argument assumes a default value if a value is not provided in the function call. My dear student, as per example number 1, here it is, the default value is R is equal to 0.25. But in first example, when we talk about a function call that is SI 6100, 2, 0.15, here it is when function call is made, in such case the default value which is already assigned to a variable R is supposed to be override with a value which is being passed with a function call. It means 0.15 is automatically stored in a variable R in spite of default value that is 0.25. In example number 2, my dear students, if you carefully read the example 2, in case of function call that is SI 6100, 2, my dear students, when we call a function, we are supposed to pass a 2 arguments, but in case of function header, there is 3 arguments or parameters, but I am supposed to pass only 2 values. It makes sense that because we are using R is equal to 0.25, it means that R is a variable which contain a default argument that is 0.25, and if they don't receive the value from function call, it means the default value is assigned to a variable that is R. My dear student, next kind of argument is called as a keyword argument. Keyword argument are the named argument with assigned values being passed in the function call statement. My dear respected students, kindly note this thing No need to remember the order of the argument. My dear students, if you attentively attentively see the example, in such case, in function call, I have written r is equal to 0.35, comma, p is equal to 6100, where t is equal to 2. But when we compare this function call with a function header where first we have write p, second we have write t, and third we have write r. But in case of function call, first we have write r, second we write p, and third we write t. But it never make this thing that r passing their value to p, p passing their value to t, and t passing their value to r. It's not correct, because in this kind of argument we use a keyword. And what you understand by a keyword? Here it is. We have written in function call r is equal to 0.35. It makes sense that the value 0.35 is automatically moved to a variable r in function header. P is equal to 6100 is automatically passed to a variable p, and t is equal to 2 is automatically passed to a variable that is t. My dear students, the last type of argument is called as variable length arguments. When we don't know the number of arguments parameters in advance, then we use variable length argument. My dear respected students, kindly note prefixed with asterisk symbol. It means that when we talk about a function header, along with the name of the variable, when we write or when we mention the asterisk symbol, it means they accept n number of arguments. For example, in example number 1, when we call the function, that is the name of the function is fun. First when we call function, it passes how many arguments? 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But my dear students, when we talk about the parameter of a function fun, they having only 1. That is a list, but because the same is prefixed with a asterisk symbol, it automatically accepts the n number of values from function call, and with the help of loop, that is a for loop, it begins with a value of I in list. It means it displays all the values in a sequence which is being stored in a list. It means it display 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, when we call the function that is fun, and second call 27 and 578 is supposed to be stored in a list, then again these two numbers stored, and in a third time when we again call a function that is 27, 56 and 78 is automatically going to be stored in a list. If we talk about the output, my dear respected student, it shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that, there is 27 and 578. And at last, they also display 27, 56 and 78.